Hey, are you tired of being knocked out of cover by legendary grenadiers and drone operators? Do you ever feel cheated when those chungas just walk towards you slowly as their hives bleed you to your inevitable fate? Do you want a build that will transform you into an indestructible soldier with ill intent? Well, here at Identity Incorporated, we've got just what you need. With builds from DPS all the way to skill, the knowledge you gain from this channel will stay with you forever. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button, like the video, and watch till the end. Enjoy.
Nope, no matter which one.
Is that a tier 6?
Yo, that's crazy.
Is it tier 6 high, dog? You okay there, little buddy? Bro, this didn't even proc my unbreakable. Fire away, my friend.
Bro, this thing is like, that bill's literally eating the mortar turret up. Bro. Bro, that's wild. The explosive sticky bomb barely did anything.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you need to prepare yourself for this one. I really took a risk making this build because in my mind it could have gone two ways. One, it would work just how I imagined it to work. Or two, you'd be spread too thin with all the bonuses there are on this one build. I mean, come on, man. How could somebody manage to get 100% bleed resistance, 70% explosive resistance, and over 200% crit damage with 52% crit chance, and all that still viable and legendary? Well, I'm here to tell you that this is possible, and I'm going to show you how in a minute here. To this day, I've yet to see someone make a video about it. It's kind of like the effect Insurmountable had on the Division community, something never seen before. Because explosive resistance in many people's minds is a useless attribute. Yet, it's the main enemy type everyone complains about in legendary missions, right? The grenadiers and drone operators. Listen, those explosions literally tickle me. And it takes the pressure off being knocked out of cover or interrupted whilst reviving your teammate. That's not all this build has to offer either. Let me explain to you the rest. Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing? I have another special build for you, and I want to get right into it if you don't mind. Every single weapon and piece of gear I have on this build is important. They all work together to make a playstyle that's optimal for legendary. It's great for team play because you're an amazing asset to whoever you're playing with. You can draw aggro, revive teammates, and deal very good damage. Now let's start with the specialization. Demolitionist is great for a build like this. It has a skill on the tree that allows you to be immune to one explosion and the cooldown is 1 minute. Also, crisis response activates after your armor breaks. It reloads your current weapon while firing. This skill synergizes perfectly with the primary I'm using. It's the backfire. This is where I'm getting my crit damage over 200%, which also increases my base damage. Crisis response works really good with this because getting your stacks up with the backfire is the most important aspect of the weapon. And let's be honest, the backfire is a niche SMG. I don't recommend using this unless you can find a way to mitigate that bleed because it can kill you easily. Now the secondary is important as well. I didn't know what I wanted to use at first since I wouldn't be able to get my crit higher on whatever secondary I chose. So I figured why not just increase my base damage with Optimus. Better yet, Perfect Optimus. It's the named AR called the Shield Splinter, and by the way, you can get this weapon by killing all hunters in DC. I did not expect it to hit this hard. Maybe it's because of its insane fire rate. It does surprisingly well. And as always, if you want even more crit, use the Orbit pistol. Best in slot for this build. It's important to note that you need to utilize the 3 brand set pieces that grant bonuses in order to replace what you don't have. There's no room to roll these attributes these brand sets give you, simply because of how much this build has going on. Since you're gonna need to roll Hasbro and explosive resistance on almost every piece, you need brands that already have what you need to replace that attribute. This Grupo mask, for the 15% damage it has, so rolling explosive resistance is okay. the 𝐷𝐶𝐵 backpack for the 10% crit chance it gives you, covering the 𝐻𝑃ro and explosive resistance here. It has concussion, which is also great for this build because it's always with you. Taking damage won't disable it, and you can gain up to 25% damage from this talent. Finally, the yaw chest piece that helps you with 𝐻𝑃ro. This is where you'll gain the bulk of your hazard protection. Plus, Unbreakable, the talent I'm using, helps a ton with survivability. Also, with Crisis Response from Demolition and Specialization tree, once your armor is broken, you instantly get another one while simultaneously doubling your magazine. I have 2 improvised pieces that I crafted a while ago when making Insurmountable. The holster and the gloves. These are essential to this build because you can put mods in them. You can't do this anywhere else. Both of these have explosive resistance and 𝐻𝑃ro on them. And if you notice, all of the mod slots have bleed resistance. This is important for a couple of reasons. Of course, you know, for the backfire to avoid the bleed. And for some reason, all things related to the bleed status effect is related to explosive damage, and vice versa. The bleed hive's damage is explosive damage that accompanies a bleed. This, by the way, tickles me. The mortar is explosive damage, then a bleed, which doesn't hurt either, and takes up to 8 shots to kill me. The Seeker Mine, the explosive trap, Chungas, so many reasons why this build is relevant and viable. Here's my final piece on the build, and one of the most important at that. The Sawyer's exotic knee pads. They're the reason you won't get interrupted while in cover or reviving a teammate. You cannot get staggered, and it's another piece that helps increase your base damage. By not moving, your damage gradually increases to 30%. And if you do move, as long as you stop within the allotted time, you'll maintain that damage. So this is damage you will always have. I need to point something out, and I've never seen this before. Let me know down in the comments if you have. But I purposely allowed the Chungas to walk close to me just so I could see how much damage their bleed hives would do to me. Listen, they didn't even target me. They didn't even try. I guess they knew it wouldn't affect me. My clanmate, Fat Ninja, put a defender drone over me. It targeted that. It targeted the turret he had, but for the life of me, I could not get it to target me. And with the explosive resistance I have, those drones and grenadiers explosions were no threat to me whatsoever. I mean, there were a couple of situations I was in that would otherwise result in certain death had I not been using this build. It was when I was in between a shotgunner and at the same time was getting spammed with explosions from the opposite side. I survived that. And stuff like that in Legendary is unheard of, period. So the skills I was using were a big help too. I wanted to find a skill that would increase my weapon damage even more. So I went with the new Achilles Pulse. Whenever I paint a target, it'll deal headshot damage to whatever area is isolated. This goes well with the backpack talent, Concussion. My other skill is the EMP Sticky Bomb, one of my favorites. Great for stopping those mini tanks in their tracks while I unloading them with my backfire to gain crit stacks. Let me show you these stats, and while I look at them, I want you to type beast mode down below if you believe in this build. Like I said, it's giving me Insurmountable vibes, but in a different way. It's a difficult build to make, but well worth the farm. A build you definitely want in your arsenal. As always, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you're new. I'll see you in my next video. Be right out.